Okay, so I have heard some strange things. One of the things I'll just say real quick so I don't forget it because it's small is this girl. She's some girl I see on TikTok all the time, and I don't know. She's been a psychic healer or whatever for 25 years or something. You have all these people out there making predictions, lots and lots of people. Anyways, I saw one where she said that Sunday on the 11th, that everybody, this is what her guides told her, that everybody's life was going to change, that everything was going to change on Sunday the 11th. So I don't know. A lot of people are getting, she came out and set a date. Like I've seen people do that and just be like, it's like a pack of dogs come in and rip you up. Like, don't say a date. But anyways, she's put this date out, the 11th. And that's why, to me, I've heard so many different dates and stuff. That's why I've just learned you can't get disappointed and down when a date comes and goes. And that seems to really be a trigger to people. A date comes and goes, and then they like, oh, nothing's real. This is bullshit. And then they just go straight back into fear. We're going to fucking, and then it's, I mean, the thing that I hear the most of what people fear is the control. Is you will do and do what we say, you will say what we say. Like, it's just so controlled, and that is what we're all fighting for, is to be released from the control. Like, we wanted to be free. Like, it shouldn't even be like, to even be like, people have to reference like the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence and shit to be able to just speak freely. Like, what the hell? Like, it's mental. Like, that's how much control is over us, that we got to try and find a paper back in the back, like, well, right here, this line says you can't do it. I was like, fuck off. You can't do it because I'm not going to fucking let you. Yeah, if I want to go on your social medias and shit like that where you control, then I'm going to have to deal with your bullshit. But anyways, that's but people get so put off, like the whole thing falls apart for them. And and to me, what I always hear, why it makes me feel bad, is because I just feel they're disconnected from their soul, because their soul would be giving them more comfort or something. It would be like, when you're trying to figure out like the communication going on in you, there's a lot of language happening in here, and you have to really use your discernment. You have to be able to use your barometer, your soul's barometer, to be able to figure out, like, is this a positive? Is this negative? Man, okay, so if it seems positive for me, I come out good here. So is that a positive or is that a negative if they get all hurt? So, you got to go in and use your discernment. And you got to realize every choice you make has a consequence, whether it's a good one or a bad one. It's yours. It's your balance. It's your karma. It's your thing. And that is, you're here to experience, to grow and stuff. And so you are supposed to do those things, even if you carry them from life to life to life. You're here to learn and experience and use your time while you're in the life, the game, while you're in it. You're supposed to be using it to your benefit, or growing, or playing a part, or whatever. Like, there's purpose behind it. So anyways, if people get all, fall apart over the days, especially because there was so much forward movement for a while with the people with the letter, those people that get made fun of and stuff like that, which is such bullshit. Like, I have gone in and listened. That stuff is so true. And as soon as something, people, oh, that's a psyop, that's not real. Okay, go in and explain then how they are fucking so accurate. They can go down to the day, 2 years beforehand, 3 years beforehand. They can tell you exactly the day something's going to happen. Yeah, there's something more going on there. Like, that tripped me out. I came at it from the perspective of knowing about Looking Glass and technology and the hidden space programs and stuff like that. So I knew about Looking Glass and stuff, but anyways, I just put a lot of pieces together that people never even looked at through their lives, because I was interested in things that people didn't think existed and people didn't believe in. And that's what interested me. So I studied that stuff. I looked into it. I listened. I was fascinated by it. So, but there's a lot of people who are just learning that some of this stuff even exists. And so, anyways, it's all a learning curve. Everybody's got their own stuff. And it goes so perfectly with what you're here to learn. That's the thing. There is no mistake. There's nothing you're doing wrong. And so it's like a clock. It is going through the gears. You are going through the gears. Everything lines up perfectly for your experiences to get you exactly where you chose to come into this experience for. And so anyways, the lady who's saying that everything is going to change on the 11th, she was saying everybody's life is going to change. She was like the pole shift, like everything was going to flip. Oh, and also another person, I had said something about that they were saying that we're going to have to go into that FedNow thing. And a girl commented on my thing, and she said she went into her bank and asked if the QFS was running, and they said, yeah, that the QFS is running. It is running parallel. And that is what I had heard a long while ago, that once they tried to switch us over to the FedNow thing, that they were going to switch it into the other one. And that's why there was so much takedown going on. And I also heard that one of the things why, we think it's going so fucking slow and shit like that, is that every time they go in and they'll like take down a group, another one just slides right up underneath. So it's like they just keep resurfacing and resurfacing. But you can see that the universe knew, because, we still have so many people who are waking up. You can't rush it. You can't force somebody to wake up. Looks like you can't sit there and spread the kitten's eyes open and say, look, they have to open naturally, and they have to, and it is all like the gears in a clock. It's all so perfectly. And we can sit and judge somebody. Oh, they're so stupid. Oh, they don't listen. Oh, they don't see. All of our judgment. That's us. That's what we get to face. That we're super judgmental. That we're super hateful. Whatever things that were coming out of us, that's what we get to see. That's what we get to acknowledge, so that we can say, like, yeah, I kind of like to be a dick. I'm a dick. Yeah, I like to be hateful. You get to make that choice. Or you got to be like, man, I want to be more compassionate. I want to see. I want to have more faith. I want to understand this place more. It's just it's a choice. I'll say that part. It's a choice of attitude. It's a choice in your attitude. And so, anyways, that is just a thing for you to, be aware of. And you've got your internal guidance, your internal barometer. Your soul is like a thermometer to tell you, give you information back. But you have to communicate with that. You have to be in communication, and you have to recognize, if it's ego, if it is an attachment, if it's the universe just speaking to you because you're going inside, you're listening. Or maybe you are super tuned in and you've got conversations going in there that you didn't even realize, that you were tuned in frequency-wise, like having a radio station and then having another one where it's kind of a little bit in the back, that you are like that, but you're distracted because of your stuff. And so your soul's trying to figure out how to be able to center, to focus, to find its, because it does take the quieting your mind and focusing internally. And the only thing I can compare it to is like what I've said before about, when I'm trying to hear something that's far away, or, there's different things, like you use other senses. And so if I'm trying to hear something far away, like if I'm outside and I hear some strange noise, so I want to hear, what is that noise over all these other ones? How do I hear that noise? And so and I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know if everybody just can do this really regularly, but, I think this is how we do it, but I don't think everybody's just doing it, though. That's the thing, is, like a lot of jumble, like a lot of attention deficit. They're just like, oh, it's all this noise and stuff, because they're in this frequency, but they've got all this noise, and they can't get it to be like, okay, wait. Okay, I'm just going to listen to that one for a minute. Okay, wait, listen to that. And that's what I do. And so, that is, so when I'm outside, so if there's a sound I want to hear, I just stare. So you could shut your eyes or stare, but, you stop using your eyes and you go inside, and then you find that sound, and then you just keep pulling towards it. Like you keep focusing your attention towards that sound so that you can start making out the sound or something. So it's the same kind of thing. So when it's in your head, think about, you've got all these frequencies, and right now there's so much open, and so that can be another thing where people don't understand that, and they think they're going crazy and they're losing their minds, and there's so much fucking noise in my head, I can't fucking take this shit, so they're losing their shit, smashing into cars with their cars, going and dumping over whole things in stores and shit. Like, people are losing it. And oh man, and the stuff like what was I gonna say? There was something with Chicago. Oh man, and there's something like, is it Ohio? Where is it? Somewhere over there. I think it's Ohio. I don't remember what city though. Like 35 kids have gone missing in like the past 2 weeks or something. And of course the news isn't talking about that. Why would they talk about that? So anyways, let me think. So anyways, this is a good weekend, of course, to be prepared. I swear to God, it's been like every weekend for however long. Be prepared, be prepared. But whatever happens, like goes down, like if our power goes out or whatever, just whatever happens, just keep remembering it's temporary. Don't panic. It's temporary. And be hyper-focused on your environment, because that's when shit is going to go down. So if you've got a bunch of instigators in your area that are meant to go in and do home invasions, and it's all dependent on where you live and how they're trying to hurt us and control us and stuff. Like I know out rural, they're trying to move us inward. And it is so strange still with this construction, because the other construction, like I can hear a lot of explosions, but I don't know for sure. I know there's something going on over there and something going on over there. And I keep on being like, man, I don't know. It's not like right next to me, but a lot of explosions and stuff like that. So there's some kind of construction or something. And some of it is like, man, are they just put things out, like the city put something out there because they're told to, and that there's going to be something, because I've said before, it's weird how they do like the noise, and it'll seem like the noise is covering up something. It's really strange. But anyway, so the over there, so on the one construction, I just drove past it the other day when we went to the lake, and it was the house is still just sitting there. It's like, fuck, it's so weird. Like, I don't know how much they got to do on the inside, but just the front part of the siding, like, and they just have been sitting there now through all of that, like a year and a half or something, or at least a year. So that construction hasn't started back, but so a smaller project. So I was thinking about this yesterday, because this developer over here, he's got a huge project. So he's probably got a big, giant pool of money that he's working with. And so he probably wouldn't face the same things, the same obstacles or walls as somebody with a small pool that is trying to do their houses. So if they're running into things with the bank. So I don't know. The whole thing is so suspicious anyways. But so to me, I also still felt like, if they're trying to hurt us in, it makes perfect sense. Oh, we're out here putting in these houses, which I am telling you, when I go and see those, it is like they are putting in housing for They're charging a ton of money, but every house looks exactly the same, only different colors. It's weird, man. Yeah, it is so weird. And they just go throw them up. And I was seeing, it's when you hear the explosions and shit, then I'm like, man, they're gonna hit a gas line. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. And that girl who said something about the 11th, she said there's something with the sky and something with an explosion, and there's going to be a lot of fire. And you remember a couple weeks ago where I got that really horrible vision thing, and it was something with fire. And then there's a lot of people who have been getting those dreams of people burning and stuff. So fuck, man, just remember, no matter how horrendous it is, that's that soul's exit. It's not like that soul is feeling all that stuff. It's just to exit the game. So just like in a video game, there has to be a thing to take you out of it. So there has to be an exit. And they use the exits to, motivate us into whatever we need to learn and grow and stuff. So, and this is going to be super traumatic to people. Whatever's going to go down is going to be super traumatic because people are not anywhere close to that level of understanding about souls and being in a game and stuff like that. Like everything is really real, really serious and stuff. But you got to have that part. Like that is an important part of the game. That is also a motivational factor in the game. So you need that part. So but the people who, but this is the thing that I had talked about before, the big, it's like a big slap and waking you up. It's going to be something super dramatic that is going to, it's not like prying their eyes open. It's going to be like, you weren't noticing, It's going to be like a slap in the face. That's what energetic, or that's how I perceive it. It's going to, really knock them for, feeling really shitty about themselves. And so anyways, that is going to be a whole thing once it goes down. There's going to be such a huge amount of people who are just a mess and traumatized. And there's going to be such a huge amount of people that are going to have passed, as it's going to be dramatic. And that is where it's going to, that's when we're really heading towards the new world or whatever, because all the people have to go through the trauma to heal so that they do raise their vibration. They do start understanding. Like there's so much to start understanding. And so anyways, that's when things are going to really start moving us towards that direction. It was, to me, it's kind of like, well, I would say it was kind of like being partway across the bridge, but the whole thing is that the bridge is going to be really hard. It's going to be more like, okay, so if the front people are partway across the bridge, so the people who have been doing the work and preparing, who like the ones who are here to seed it, to lead, to get people to understand what's happening. So though, like me and other people like me, we're up like towards the middle of the bridge, I would say. And then all these people behind us. So you have all the people at all different levels in their awakening. And then the people at the very, very back, they are just following the crowd. They don't know what's going on. They're just trying to keep up. And so the people at the back, those ones, they're going to go more towards, there'll be a big jump, but see, they've still got to go through so much trauma, so much darkness of facing themselves to go across the bridge. So even once people are awake, I've said that the healing part, the part that is being triggered, the dark night of the soul, the inner what is that? The inner reflection that you find, that is a hard thing to face. And that is something I got to talk about. I mean, it is just so nonstop in that Vanderpump Rules. I can't even fucking believe how toxic these people are to each other. It is absolute insanity. And, but I was going to talk more about that in a second, because I want to talk more about what's happening. And so this is like putting together a lot of different pieces. Okay, so more stuff from people in Canada where there is people who are like, there's no fucking way that we would have a fire already. Like, the fires don't start until things get dry. We still have runoff, just what I was saying. Like, if you live by the mountains, you know, like, they can sit there and trick people who are, like, living in Texas and say, oh, yeah, it's a forest fire. Well, people who live in the forest, we know, like, we're having the runoff. We just finished the snow. The trees are stopping wet. They're not tinder. They're not ready to go up in flames. You could go out there and sit with a match and try, and you wouldn't be able to get, like, anybody who's had wet wood and gone camping, you can't get it started. So, yeah, it's some bullshit. And they're sitting there saying that. So, right there, that's your first sign. Okay, suspicious. So, wet wood doesn't start on fire. And so then you have, and it takes more time than a week to dry out the wood, especially in a forest. The top of the trees, you know, up by the branches, the very tip top, it may seem kind of dry in the wind and the sun. But down in the bottom where it's all in the shade, where all the trees are blocking it, it's wet. You know, so it's very moist. Like yesterday, even I had a giant fucking big old thing of tortillas sitting on my counter. And I'm going through one of those things like where food and all that. So it's like, ugh, fuck. But I thought, okay, well, I'll go make some chips. And so I go in and they're all green. They're all just mildewed. There's so much moisture down here in the forest part. So, yeah, it's some bullshit. I'm going to sit there and tell you, oh, yeah, it just dried up. It just started on fire. We don't even know what's happening. It's climate change. It's climate change. It's about, you know, there's that, goddamn. Try and be better liars at least. Fuck. I mean, that is some fucking, like, real disrespect. If you're not even trying to do some good lies, like, fuck off with your shit. At least try and trick me. Like, it's just absurd. And it's way more bullying. Yeah, it is. That's what I said. You better say what I said. It's like, fuck you. I swear to God, some of these people, I just want to slap their bitch ass face. So, okay, we got that nonsense. And then we've got people up there who are saying, you know, where's the fires? Where's the fires at? You know? And so this is where it gets really... you know, this is the hard parts. It's like, fuck, dude. God damn. No matter when you... Still, you just... God damn, I'm so sick of this shit. God, I'm so sick of this shit. That's why I know, but I, like, even when I say, like, awakening sooner so you could get up and tell people that think you're crazy how to... It's like, it's not fun. It's not like, yay, this is so fun, and in your vision, I'm like, it's fucked, man. But we got to keep going. There's a point to it. Like, there's a good point. We got to get down there. It's like we're in the desert, and we got this lush, beautiful island up ahead, and it is, you know, we gotta just get up there to that beautiful island. Everything is gonna be good. So we just got to get up there to that island. So, anyways, okay, this part I'm going to try and say some in code, so you're going to have to kind of be up on some current events to know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, where there was the big sonic boom, you know, last week, a few days ago, somehow right before this fire, the giant sonic boom. And then, of course, there was the cover story, which I said, it's a cover story, it's some bullshit, it's not fucking real. They fucking lie nonstop. If they tell a story, bet your goddamn ass it's not true. It's a cover story. They don't tell us the truth. They're not going to all of a sudden go, well, let's just tell them the truth. If they say they're telling you the truth, it's so that they can kind of give you something so that they can just take that and twist it, manipulate it. So it's all just bullshit. And you got to use your own being on you know, it's kind of like, you know, if we followed a deer around and we told it what reality was the whole time. You know, you got to be like the deer. It's not going to fucking listen to you. It ain't going to fuck. It's going to pay attention. It'll figure it out. That's how you got to get in your head. Don't pay attention. You got to pay attention and figure it out. Don't pay attention to what they tell you about reality. Use your own self to know what is your environment. So... Anyways, and people are doing it all the time. That's how we get this fucking footage. And so we had the big thing, and then they come in with their story. Oh, well, we had a plane, but just so happened to be somebody who's associated with Trump. They just flew over airspace. It was wild. So we had to have these 2 military planes, and they had to jet over there and destroy them. Destroy, to blow those motherfuckers up. Okay. Yeah. Well, and it just so happened, it's Trump person, so what the fuck? So, yeah, bullshit. Fuck off with your shit. And and other people had the attitude, went over to look. Where's this at? Well, where's all the debris? Where's the crime scene? There's nothing. They're over there looking. No, it's all bullshit. But the boom happened, because people in the environment heard it. People, a lot of people, not just one person, not just like out here where I'm out here and I'm like, have nobody to confirm with. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? No. Yesterday when I went out, and Stella is kicking my ass, man. The stronger she gets, like, fuck. I had to put on this, I'm trying to like hold in my I don't know, the tissue against my chest bone or something. Oh my God, I'm in so much pain. I don't, I just think it's from her pulling, and it's hurt right in here. It's like, ugh. But I keep on, to me, I got to be careful over the envisioning with the implants. And I'll tell you why, is because, so when you're sitting there envisioning, like manifesting and stuff like that, like I want the implants out, and I want those implants out and stuff like that. Well, see, I can make it happen, but maybe it's going to be an emergency. And so that's what I don't want to happen. I don't want to have to go into the hospital. Even yesterday when my chest bone was hurting so bad, and it's been hurting for days, but it just keeps getting worse. And so I was pushing, and so I started thinking about John Ritter. I'm like, oh my God, maybe that's what I got. And I thought, well, I wouldn't understand exactly why. I would have to go to my review to get or would it be that I would be, going to the other place, right? But it wouldn't make any sense to me why I would keel off right now, but, I'm not, if it were to happen, it would, the shit's out of your control. Like, it's not like something that you can sit and fret about and try and change. So, and it's not something to be worried about or scared about. Remember, it's just leaving like one picture and going into another one. And so, anyways, I was pushing on it though yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, do I have one of those dissecting aorta or something? I was like, oh. And I was like, well, it takes you out quick, except for this part, maybe the painful part leading up. But I think it's just her pulling, because when she starts pulling, it pulls right there so much. But anyways, the implants too drive me fucking crazy. But if you sit there and you keep thinking, like, I want them out, I'm going to get them out. I'm going to, envision myself like I envision myself with them out and stuff like that. But you have to be really careful, because yeah, you can make that shit happen, but it may not happen the way you want to have it happen. So you got to remember, you've got to have some control. And that's on everything. That's not just that. That's on everything. If you're trying to force things, to me, trying to force things is kind of a lesson where things blow up in your face to let you know, like, oh, okay, I'll just relax. Let's let this happen. It's okay. So it's just something to notice for yourself. Maybe it doesn't happen for you, but it's definitely, like a minefield for me. They want me to work on having faith and trust and stuff like that. So anyways, that is just something to keep in mind, is when you are manifesting a change or something, that to keep in mind how things change. Sometimes they change in a really dramatic thing. So anyways, I know I'm going to get him out. Oh, and I saw, so in Illinois, there's footage of somebody, they went up, the building says Tesla med beds. It's a big old giant thing. And so they're out there, you know. I don't know how much longer we have to wait, but I'm telling them, I can't imagine we'd all have to go to Illinois. I think they're probably going to be a lot of places, and that may be the place that is making them, and then they're going to send them all out. I don't know. I just know the med bed thing is real, and I can't wait to get them one, because that's how I want my implants out. I don't want them cut out. I don't want to go in and be put under. I don't want them digging around in my body anymore. I just want them to, you know, evaporate. So anyways, let me think what I was going to say. So the intentions, the man. Okay, so you have the big explosion. And then we have, remember all that stuff that's been missing. And it's a lot. And we have a big explosion with no debris. And then we have everybody in this one area under this deep, deep colored sky. And somebody pulled up what it looks like when that stuff that's missing goes up in smoke. And it is a similar color, similar thickness. So definitely seems, by all appearances, that it was a chemical assault on New York. So therefore, I mean, we knew there was going to be, like, every big city is at total risk because it's a condensed amount of people, and the energy in each of them has got so much so much darkness in all these places. And so there's going to be big shakeups. There's going to be a lot of really vital, violent things that are going to happen. And it's already going, man. It's already fucking going. Like, the person who shot that lady right through her door the other day with she has 4 little kids. It was a woman. Fuck, dude. I was a young girl. I mean, maybe she was 30 or something, that I saw losing her goddamn mind, breaking all this shit in stores and shit. Like, fuck. And people don't go up and start approaching these people. These people are like losing their minds. I would say definitely don't go up and approach these people. Like, yeah, they are completely, like, you don't know what's going on in here. You don't know how much noise and stuff. And they're using these frequencies. That's what I was going to say when I went out yesterday to walk Stella. And, you know, they sprayed all afternoon. It was like completely blue. Then all of a sudden, you know, they were spraying. And I saw, because I was outside and I smelled something, and I looked up, and it was a weird smell. I don't even know how to explain it. I was just walking. I was like, man, that is a weird smell. And as you're walking, you know, you walk past someone's house and you think, man, is that smell coming out of their house? Like, what is that weird smell? And then you keep going and you keep smelling it, and you keep going and keep smelling it. It's like, okay, this is weird. Like, this smell is outside. And so I look up, and this is one of those, like, you know, kind of sprays. It was so fucking long, and it was swirly, and it was super long. Then take a break, and then it was so long. I couldn't believe how far it was. I was like, oh my God. And then up in that way, then there was a big giant 4 sprayer spraying 4 at the same time. And you could smell something. It smelled weird. And it wasn't like I mean, it's some kind of artificial smell. I don't know how to explain it. It's not what I exactly would say, oh, it smells like chemical. Because that's what everybody over there is saying. Everybody's saying out in all different places. Pennsylvania, all these different places are saying that they smell chemicals. It doesn't, nobody can smell any forest fire. And so everybody is, to me, I mean, and then you got to remember too, because even when they said that after the train thing over in Ohio, and they were watching the air quality. Anybody who was watching the maps with the air and where the air was moving to, like, they had it in the water. It was going down the water, going all the way down. I think there was even a split in the river, so make sure it goes the other direction too. These people are fucking, what is that word? Efficient. They're so fucking efficient. And so then the wind was blowing it. Oh, another thing people have noticed, the wind's not going in the right direction. And the stuff isn't coming in from where they're saying, like it should be blowing in from there. If it's coming from there and it's blowing in from over here. So stuff like that. And people are noticing like wind currents that's going the wrong direction, which can all be a part of our shift. It's all the energy is shifting. So that can, that can be a part of the shift rather than the manipulation, because we have the manipulation going, but then we also have the certain group of people who say that there isn't all this going, that they're trying to dismantle the things that were done. So they're trying to spray stuff to try and make it less effective. And so there's a whole rain thing somewhere. I don't know where, but there was rain because they were showing like pools of this chemicals stuff. It looks like bubbles or something. It's weird looking for sure. And I'm not even, these are all things over on these kids. But when you were watching the current, how it was moving, they said that the stuff in Ohio, that the most of that plume was going to be over New York. That's where it would be. It would dissipate once it got over there, over the ocean or something. But that was the biggest part, was going to be right there. So now, and you got to remember, like, that they're always layering. So, who knows what, and when those two things hit, like, and you can't figure out, like, okay, so I would definitely be like, detox your liver nonstop. Like your liver has got all the detoxins, so all the chemicals, and you got to do as best you can to stay off of all the other chemicals. The most chemicals you can stay out while your liver's trying to process these other ones, because they're kicking our system's asses. They know what the hell they're doing. Remember, they're efficient. So you got to be on top of that. You got to go in and do your detoxing. And the best thing to do is just be super aware what you're putting in your mouth. It needs to be the cleanest you can get. So the least amount of ingredients. So if you're eating out of boxes and frozen and shit like that, you need to try and move off of that, because they have also put extra chemicals in those recently to combine with the other ones. That's why you got to be realizing this is we're in a chemical lab experiment kind of situation. So you have to be the lab master of your own environment. Like, you have to be like, okay, well, and don't forget, and I've talked about this a long while ago, is don't forget that they know, like, so in New York, they've got this, they sprayed this, they got that plume, then they got this explosion. Then there's certain things in their food, in their water, all that stuff. And so, and certain things are going to affect each person's DNA differently. Like, they know how to target certain people, certain colors to do this. And so all of those different people, so that is how they trick. So some people are going to get cancer, some people are going to have a heart attack, some people are going to have this, some people are going to have, and that is where, well, we don't all have the same thing. Well, because you were working with people who were fucking smart. They know what they're fucking doing. Yeah, you're not all going to get the same thing. Wouldn't that be kind of obvious? Like, how did they trick us our whole goddamn lives? It wasn't from being obvious. But now, I think part of, while we're seeing it, where some of this stuff seems so obvious, I think it wasn't as obvious. When we were all supposed to be that way. We were all supposed to be asleep. We were all supposed to start waking up. It's all a part of the thing. It's part of the expansion. It's part of the age of Aquarius. It is for us to awaken. So you haven't done anything wrong ever by participating. You were in the game. You were supposed to. So, but then the thing is when the game switches, you've got to be able to understand and realize your part you played. That's what you got to go back over. That's where you're learning. Like, oh my gosh. And it can be small things. Like, it can be something that you said to somebody in 5th grade. And you just, I mean, you may go through 2 weeks of crying for being the worst person in the whole wide world, that you can't even believe that you were such a piece of shit, that you would hurt somebody like that. Like you'll feel it in such a deep, deep way. And that is why I'm constantly be careful over, when you're hurting, when you're reacting, because you will feel that. That pain will come back. And to see, oh, so how'd you feel about that? You like it? You like it? Is that how you want to go around talking to people? Is that how you want to be? So that's why I'm constantly saying, be mindful. Don't be reactive. Take your time. Don't just jump, because you're going to come back, and that's going to come back and hit you. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so rotten. I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself. And those are hard to get over. Hating yourself is a big energy, and it has a lot to release. And it's important to release it, because you're not, hating yourself and being down on yourself is low vibration. So then you'll stay in low vibration stuff and go through more life experiences so that you can continue to grow and expand and have more compassion. Because the whole thing, you can have all the compassion in the world for everybody else, but you still got to have it for yourself. And so you have to go in and experience so that you can learn, because you just think about, like, it's real easy to sit there and, if you're a happy wife with 4 kids, and you got the perfect husband, and, you've got these other friends, a single mom, one that never even got married, she's got a couple kids, and all of their stuff, and you sit around your dinner table being judgmental, oh man, those ladies, and judging their different things and stuff. And then all of a sudden you find yourself single, and you get a totally different perspective. You get a totally different understanding. So that is what reincarnation, life cycles, and all that stuff is about, is to go in and experience, because you get a totally different perspective when you go through the experience. And so that is, why this whole thing exists, is the expansion. The universe is expanding all the time, and you got to be on board. You got to be like expanding with it, or you just, become dark energy. You become dark, conscious energy has motivation. And so conscious energy, we're part of the expansion. We're all, go, go, go. And so we take our role, seriously. So, we go in and we do grow and expand and stuff. It's the dark energy hasn't become like conscious, hasn't become conscious of itself. And that is like transmuting energy and stuff. Like, even if you have a lot of dark energy around you, work on transmuting it, help the energy be able to, and I don't know if unconscious energy becomes conscious energy. Like, I don't know about all the different, I just know that there's frequency, and I just know that there's a difference in conscious energy and unconscious energy. So anyways, but it's all an expansion. So anyways, let me think what I was going to say. Okay, so we have those different chemicals. So we know a couple of them, which, though, they could make it all like, to those of us who are like me, who are suspicious watching all their shit, that they could be like, well, we'll do an explosion. They'll think it's this, but it's really this. So whatever they say, it won't be that. And so that's the thing, is like, is it this 60 ton? Like, did they take some of that, explode that to go along with the plume to create, this yellow, like, it looks so much to me like it's tinted, like we just tinted New York, and everybody's stuck in there is under the stuff, that the fumigation, and so I think that I saw somebody showing this morning in Staten Island that it was clear skies. They said just all of a sudden, just clear skies. Oh, there were some clouds, but it was blue. No more of the weird colors and stuff like that. And so then it was like, well, that's suspicious. Like, like, are they just sitting there pumping this stuff and pumping this stuff? Like fumigating, and then all of a sudden they just stop, and then it cleared. Like, I don't know. But there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to go on. And it can also be because they are big on the mind control to make certain people lose their minds. And they say it's just a weak mind that they can control. So, I don't know. I mean, their whole purpose is trying to make weak minds. And so, I don't want to judge anybody who is under all this mind control and stuff. It's, it's a lot, man. And there's going to be a lot of people in those cities and stuff. They're just mindlessly going to kill and stuff. And it is, it's all this mind control. When you don't know, are they just completely making it so silent in people's minds that they are losing it? Like, you just don't know. You don't know how different people are being affected. And that's why you got to stay safe. You can't just be out there just like everybody's just like me. Everybody's just like me. Don't be thinking that. That's something I learned in all this. Don't be fucking thinking that. Yeah, and it's very different how different people perceive and understand. So, and this is all different, souls, and they're all, with their own perception and their own understanding and stuff. And, this is a lot of stuff, a lot to take on, a lot of expansion, a lot of growth. If you're not, spiritually inclined, and then you've got all these people, like, even if you're feeling spiritual, and then they come in and they rob you of it and try and force you into religion as fast as possible and scare you, you better say Jesus' name. Yeah, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Say Jesus' name and you're good to go forever. Like, come on, people. So, anyways, but that's each soul, and each soul gets to go through their own experience and their own consequences. So, it's an independent thing, and that's why you got to go into a state of independence, because it's an independence consequence, so, and it really is super dependent if you need to see yourself through somebody else. If you can't be sure of yourself and you need to be like, well, it's okay for them, well, it's okay for them, then you aren't being sure of yourself, and that's what you're working on. So you want to notice, like, if you're dependent on how someone else sees you. And so, and in this show, man, it is nonstop. Like, it is so crazy. Some of this stuff, like how these people talk to each other and interact. It is so freaking toxic. And yesterday I was talking to my daughter, and she had the one grandson call me. He's so cute, and he loves to get, because he talks to other people on FaceTime, and so he is into it. He's so cute. And now he can crawl, he's grabbing things, he's trying to stand up and walk, and he's just turned 7 months. The kids now are so far. I think that they're here. They didn't come with the same veil. They're parts of us that were dormant. They're being born now, they're not. And so it seems like they're just going so fast, like moving through the developmental stages. So it's trippy. Anyways, when I was talking to her, and you start talking about the characters, it is so trippy. And it is very much just like how I was saying about the stepmom and the woman with all the kids, and she's judgmental and stuff like that. And so when you've lived a life like somebody else, you have empathy or compassion for them when you've gone through similar experiences. And so when I'm watching Raquel, that is what I'm constantly seeing is myself, and her awkwardness and all that stuff. And so I've always liked her as the character in the show. And she's always been so quiet. Like, she's always been kind of like, there wasn't really that much to her. She was just, but I could totally relate. Like, there was, like, for so long, like, I'm a deeper person. I'm like somebody you go and talk to, have a long conversation about something deep or something. Like, I'm not somebody to sit around and talk about shallow shit. And so if people come up and want to talk to me, I mean, you go into something like I've talked about this before, and I start talking how I would talk, and people are always like, oh my God, you're so heavy. You're so, oh my God, like nobody would want to talk to me. And I would be, I was odd on how I interacted or whatever. But if somebody would come and talk to me, so if you were to look over it to me, I would just be sitting there just like, I've got nothing to say. As soon as I open my mouth, it's like, oh my God, what? That's not what we want to talk about. We don't want to think about that or whatever. And so I could relate to when, she's not out there just talking and talking. She's not out there, trying to be the center of attention and get people, and some of these people are so desperate to be the center of attention, and they're so shallow. And then when I'm talking to my daughter, and who her character is that she has so much empathy for, who I see as being such a bully, but that is shows so much. Like, if you were to take those two characters, that would totally represent me and my daughter and our relationship. It's trippy how this works. And when you start noticing, like, if you have some shows that you watch with people or whatever, notice the characters who people are like, oh no, they're the ones who are right. No, I like that. Just notice that. If we're somebody that relate to them somehow, it's like the avatar. Like you relate to them, so you create the avatar, but it's already this other person. But it is this connection through experience that gives you this view, so you understand that character. And so I find that fascinating. And I don't know if I've always noticed that or I just noticed it, but now I know I just noticed it for sure. Even if I've noticed it before, I don't know, maybe I've talked about it before. But anyways, it feels very like I just realized this. So one of the things too, so she's already finished, and I'm like, I think I'm 7 episodes away from the big scandal that's going to go down. And I am still so much like, Hollywood pays for drama. And just, knowing how quarantine went, knowing what has gone on with the restaurant industry and all of the, and especially, a high-end restaurant where you're putting out like expensive stuff. And if all this stuff has gone way up, like anybody who's gone to a restaurant, like I don't go to restaurants very often. And so when I have, and over this, I've been a couple of times over the past couple of years. And it was places that I had something before on a couple of them. And the quality of the food, it was like they're trying to keep their prices the same, but the food quality, like things were changing in the restaurants. I mean, things are changing in, in all these different things. Like, it is the corporate lifestyle. It is like this is changing. It's going to go way more wholesome. So, like, I don't know what's going to go on with this Vanderpump thing. And another thing, too, what I noticed is that they sure have Lisa saying a lot of dirty jokes all of a sudden. I feel like somebody who's got everything right and like, you're going to be like, okay, well, I'll exploit myself a little bit. I need the money. And you got yourself in a hole. You got yourself in a position. And so then you got to go like, how dirty am I going to go? For a couple bucks, because you're going to end up feeling like shit unless it's real authentic, unless you really feel that way. If somebody's telling you, hey, do this, say this, you're going to feel dirty. And so the thing that is so strange to me is because of Raquel, her personality the whole time. And then her and James split up. And James now he's gone back to drinking. And immediately he, within a couple of weeks, was in a serious relationship, has a girl move in. And so that really affected Raquel. I mean, she was already in this relationship that was very toxic. She was very, and see, and I was in so many of these kinds of relationships. These are the kind of relationships that I talk about of what, how I experienced when I was younger. Because if you're not confident in yourself, you don't have good boundaries, you don't have confidence, you don't have self-esteem, you have, you're negative about yourself and stuff like that, then you will people please. You'll try and do things for other people to get them to like you. You will and if you're in a relationship with somebody who's overbearing or controlling, then you can lose yourself. And so there's more things about it, but so it's easy. I totally had empathy for her, is to be this certain personality type and this total awkward. And especially, like, another thing I think people don't realize too is if somebody does tell you, oh, you're so pretty, you're so pretty, that's all that's it. So there's nothing to me except for that. And so then what happens if I lose that? What happens about that? And so I can see why she started being like, she's got to do surgery on her face. She's got to do something. I think that's what happens with a lot of these Hollywood ladies, where they start, their value is in their looks, and they don't see their value. And so they've got to keep their looks. Like, when they become desperate, and they start looking desperate. And that's what I think James was talking about when he didn't want one of those Hollywood, women's faces, because it's just so desperate. It's so fake and phony and so desperate to, you got to work on what's inside, because you start showing through what's on the inside. And so with her, she is, she's so bullied. And so people just walk all over her, which I totally related to that. And now, so all of a sudden, we get up to this season that just ended, and James and her split up. Because now, ever since, because one night, and I've got these things happen. You're sitting there, and this would happen to me all the time with my third husband. He was a raging alcoholic. Every one of them was raging alcoholic. And he would, I would go to work, and then if I worked in the night, I was a nurse, and if I was working in the night, he would sit there and get drunk, and then he would just nonstop text me the rudest fucking shit all night long. And he would start fights with my kids. He would, oh my gosh, it was hellacious. And I would just be so stressed at work, just getting all these messages, this drunken fury. And, they're called rage text. And so, yeah, I've experienced it so many times. And so when she had the one where James had went off on her, she's a slut, you whore, and all that stuff, that she stopped having sex with him. And they still got engaged and all that stuff. So, people don't know how to just stand up for themselves, how to care for themselves. Like, it's so strange. And how much somebody can, if somebody's pushing you and you are feeling everything on you does not want to go that way, you've got to stand up for yourself. You got to say, hey, you got to say whatever you feel comfortable with. You don't have to go in somebody else's direction. And, when your body is feeling uncomfortable, it's trying to tell you, this isn't your direction. You're not supposed to be going this way. You got to, there's a whole process to standing up for yourself and, saying what you feel, how you feel about it. And so, and it's a learning curve. It's a learning process. It's a development. And so you can't, it's not like you can jump up all the stairs and get to the top as fast as you can. You have to go each stair, learn what you got to learn to get to the place where you want to be. And so, when her and James at the end of the season, she had decided, because I guess that was the whole question, is that he had said, do you think I'm your soulmate? And I've had this conversation before with people. Well, one thing to remember, we're all soulmates. We all are connected. So we're all soulmates. And, but there is, there's magic that goes on. And when these people come into your lives for relationships, you got to recognize this person's here. It's my next step. It's my next thing. And so it can feel, a lot of them can feel like magical, like, oh my God, music has just come out in the heavens. I hear, that you're supposed to be with that person. You can feel it. Everything is pulling you towards it because that is the experience that you're supposed to go into. And that's why you're here to learn the next experience. And so, it will feel like heaven sent. But that doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. Don't go into something just because it's heaven sent thinking that it's all the answers to your dreams. No, it's lessons leading you to the answers to your dreams. You got lessons to go through. You got to learn how to love yourself. So you're going to have people come into your life to show you, you don't want this. You don't want this. So those experiences are to help you define what you do want. So, I went through that thing with the rage texting and stuff. I know how that destroys your relationship. Like, no, have sex with you, gross. So anyways, when they got to this part, so James was like asking her this one night, like, do you see me as your soulmate? In the sense, because so many people use that who aren't spiritual as being your one and only true partner for life, forever and ever and ever, soulmate. And so she didn't say anything. She just got quiet. And a damaged person reads those signs. And that's the thing, is like when you're reading the signs and you're trying to pick up on all of those things from somebody, there's something raw in you. You got your feelers out. You're not secure. So you need to work on your own security. But James isn't going to do that. He's just going to jump in with another relationship and start controlling her, telling her how she should dress, how she should look, what she should do. And so he's already got that going. Like, it's so important between relationships. After a relationship ends, not only should you go through the whole thing of healing and going through the pain of loss and, this person and our future and everything you thought and the horrible person you were, the horrible person they were, like all of the stuff. Once you go through all of that, you got to go through and be single. You got to go out and be you for a while, the new refined version of you. Go out and explore yourself because you just went through something that you grew. So you got to go out and explore yourself. You're not going to want the same kind of person, but people will jump right back in and go with the same kind of person. And so you need to go through the development, and I was a relationship junkie, and I didn't ever have a problem. Like, I'm one of those girls that, like, every guy that gets together with you wants to marry you and kind of, and that is my challenge. That's not like if somebody who struggles with those relationships can be like, well, that's not fair. She can just get all, that is a challenge too. If you think it's easy that every fucking person who comes and wants to go out with you is madly in love with you and wants to save you from the world, it is, especially if you are a dependent person who has no self-esteem and stuff like that. So anyways, I didn't have problems with jumping from relationship to relationship. There's a fucking one or two, and that is another thing too. As soon as Raquel was broke up, it's like all the guys who thought she was pretty just, that is, that's what happens. But those are challenges. Those aren't things that are like lucky. God, she's so lucky. It's like, no, that is hard. Especially just like everybody else. Everybody wants to be loved. And it is it's very challenging to have to go through 30 different people who are sitting there. I love you so much. You're the most perfect person in the whole wide world. I love you, love you, love you. And it is a lot. So don't ever think, like, if you have a friend who, some friends, they set that up. They want to do that. They want to have, like, they'll go out and dressed slutty so that they can get all the guys to want to have sex with them. I'm not talking about that kind of girl. I'm talking about somebody who's just, is a magnet because it is a role that they're playing. It is what they're coming to experience. So anyways, don't look at them and think like, oh God, they're just so lucky. They've just saw one guy after another just out there knocking on their door. No, it's challenging. And a girl like that, she can't go and complain about it because nobody has the empathy. Nobody gives a fuck. They just think like, well, yeah, I wish somebody would come and ask me out. It's like, you don't know, like, you can go sit and have dinners with fake ass people. Ew, no, no. So anyways, but that is all, different people have different experiences and they judge other people's experiences as good or bad because they're not in the experience. They don't know what the good and the bad parts are. And so just as challenging as any experience you're going through, everybody else is going through the same kind of challenging experiences. So don't think just because somebody else's life's seeing, and even if they're out there putting on a pretty face and smiling and, oh yeah, my life's perfect. Inside they're probably feeling lonely and confused and beat down and, so just don't feel like, somebody else has got the perfect life and everything's perfect for them. Give them some space to have some pain and suffering and failings and stuff. Like they're here to do some work. So I just feel like people get so hung up on assuming somebody else's life is perfect because they have the things that they wish they had. And it is, you got to stop wishing you had what somebody else has and appreciate what you have because your lesson plan is set out for you. And so you got to focus on your lesson plan, not sitting there, and that is right there in the Bible too, with the I don't know, don't long for what your neighbor has or something like that. Because it is a toxic thing. It's toxic for your soul to sit there and be like, because you've got your whole life plan, I mean, maybe yours is going to be way better, but you're not going to go on that one because you're going to sit over in your lawn chair and stare at that one and be like, oh, they're so lucky. I wish I had that life. I love that life. Instead of being like, fuck, I'm going to make mine, So, and that is where you got to go to your life review and be like, God damn. So just took that one person, they got that new boat, and that's all I could focus on was I want that life, I want that boat, I could go sit in the lake, I could go, and so you're just wasting your energy. You could be doing something way better. You could be selling your house, moving to a desert island out there and living on a beach. So don't get caught up in somebody else's stuff thinking that they have it better than you, because it's just not true. And so on the thing where he says, are you my soulmate? And so that told him everything when she couldn't answer. So he was very devastated because he loves her. The whole thing is James doesn't even realize he's so shallow. He's so superficial. You even have said, what drew you into her was what she looked like. And then when you would see their relationship, he was very controlling about that. And I've been in so many of that. So I'm relating all the time with her. And she's this like beat down person. And then the next season starts. And so, and this is where I think this is some Hollywood shit, man. I keep saying it, I keep telling my daughter, and it's just weird how much people don't like certain characters. It's like, how do you not like her? But so, I mean, she's getting death threats and shit now. Apparently she's gone into hiding. And I think the same with Tom. From what I understand, they've lost all their social media people, like all their followers and stuff, like this big scandal. Like the people who are caught up in these kind of dramas, take it seriously, man. Like it's fucking serious business. And so, but what I see is this girl. So she's come back now on this new season, and she's single. All these girls are suddenly single. Oh, and this stuff with Lala's husband, Randall. So she's just gone right back to just being such a bitch, man. Oh my gosh. I thought there for a minute she was going to be humbled, but no, she's right back to just being like look, I was raised in the prison system and I'll fucking kick your ass. Like, she's hard. And that's the one my daughter really likes, but she thinks she's solely appropriate for, it's like, I see her as a bully. But the stuff with Randall, so he was not just running a casting couch. I mean, he had them running drugs and shit. So, and that is the thing, is like, when you hear this stuff, to me, it's like, those people aren't doing this because they don't think, they're doing it because they think they're going to get something for it. They're going in, oh, okay, well, here, I'll do this. Put me in a movie. Make me famous. It's like, okay, so you're going to just do whatever. That old gross guy, you're going to go down there and suck him off to go be in a movie, and you think you're going to feel good about it. You think you're going to feel good when you have to, in this movie, you got to take off your shirt. Oh, no, you got to go and be sexier. No, you need more moaning. And then you got a director who's directing but for your big moment. And then you are, and then your family's all going to go see your big scene, and then you're going to, and they always need girls with no shirts on in every movie. So I don't know. I just, the way that some of the people will just sell themselves out, like they just don't care about themselves. But the thing is once you go and do all that stuff, your soul is going to really let you know how it feels about it. And that's why a lot of people in those kinds of industries end up being on drugs and drinking and stuff all the time. It's because, they're trying to shut their fucking soul up. It's like, shut up. I don't want to hear that part. God, I'm just going to go drink. Everybody else is doing it, Well, you don't understand what I'm trying to do here. I've got to make it. I got to have my, there's a battle going on inside, even if, you're not a part of it, even if you can't hear it. Believe you me, there's a battle going on inside, and they're trying to quiet it down. And I think probably some of them fucking are relieved when they get just taken out and the clone replaced, because it's like, they put you through hell to, you have to be how they want you to be. I don't know. It's what people will give up of their self for something that, besides the fact that that's all fate and destiny. Just because you go and you're super beautiful and you go take off your shirt in a movie and you go, really do a good scene, then that doesn't mean you're going to become famous. Fame has to do with destiny. It's what you came to experience. It isn't like you can create it. It comes when it's supposed to come. If it's supposed to come for you, that's because you came to experience what that is like. What's it like when you got all these people who don't really know you, and they want to talk to you, and they want to touch you, and they want to see you, and they want your energy and stuff. So, that is something for souls to experience. And then you've got all these fame seekers that just sit back, like, wanting to get up there, I want to be famous. It's like, there's a part of it. There's lesson part. It's not just like, you really think like you're going to get up there on the main stage and you're just going to have the majority of people are just going to love and worship. Like, all the people are going to go around, the most beautiful person in the whole wide world. We just love her. We just love her more than anybody else. They're going to still love their own family and friends more than they're going to love you. They don't even know you. So that is not, I just don't get, like, what is it that you're trying to get? A bunch of strangers to, because there's a dark part to it. There's a dark side to fame, and when you're just chasing the light side, you're not even considering the dark side. And the people who come in to experience, they're going to experience both sides because that's what they came to experience. So they're going to understand it on a level that people who are seeking it don't have any clue about. But it's not meant for everybody. It's not something you can just go do. And it's not, it's a destined event. It's something you came here to experience. Like every single thing that you're experiencing, the size of your avatar, the color of your avatar, everything about you is a part of your experience. It all goes together. And so now where they have Rochelle starting this season, and all the girls are single, and and it just goes right straight to just slutty, man. Just total sluttiness. Like, just any old guy. I just need a guy to just come. And this is another thing too that really bothers me. And you can't run around telling all your girlfriends, but I can sure the fuck come on here and say it. Is this? Oh yeah, we're just gonna be open about sex. We're just gonna just do it. I just need somebody to come in and just reoccupy so I can, whatever they do. Like, it just doesn't matter. It's just a quick little one thing. I just want to get plowed for a minute. And so that is some bullshit. I'm gonna be real curious to see if it isn't. Oh well, that was it either is so bad. I would never. I don't want anything to do with that guy's dick again. But this other guy, like, I might try his own. Just keeps going like that. But you bet your ass, if this girl's being plowed, like, oh, I don't care about sound. I don't care about anything. I just, quick plow in the fields. And believe me, that is some manipulation. Bullshit. If it is good, believe me, she's going to be right back up in there. She's not just looking for a quick plow. She's looking for a connection, just like everybody else. And people have just come up with these super manipulative ways to do it. And it is really aggravating. It's like, fucking be real, man. Be real. Don't go around trying to be like, oh, I'm so hip. I'm just any old stranger. Just come on in and do it. And bullshit. Yeah, it's a fucking bullshit. And so now you have all these girls, and this drama between them has all been going on for years and years and years. And Rochelle and Lala have had this. I mean, Lala slept with Rochelle's boyfriend when James and her were first going out. Lala slept. Lala was drunk. She was slutting it up with everybody. She's getting blowjobs for cars and shit. So she was just like, but you're not allowed to bring that up. You're not allowed to, to say that she was given blowjobs for cars with this guy, and now how do you turn around and say you're shocked that he was out couch, what is that called? The couch, casting couch, that when he's running, you're shocked. Well, he's given you, and I swear to God, she was younger when she said yesterday she was 25. I don't think she was 25. She was younger. And, but no matter what, he was married with 2 kids, and there's a whole weird thing about that. Like, he set up a whole thing with his wife to pretend like she was a counselor, to tell the girl she could date him. I don't even know. Like, like, you're not very connected to your soul if you're not having any red flags at all. Like, but to sit there and say like, oh, you're shocked. And then when people are like calling her out for being the mistress and stuff, like losing her goddamn mind, how you're not allowed. But she's going to turn around and say everything that you do, hyper criticize you, but you're not allowed. And this is the same thing Sheena does. And they both use the anger and having a fit in order to shut you down. Like, you're not allowed to call them out. Those kind of people who you're not ever allowed to say anything to, I don't grow. If you don't ever want to hear anything from anybody, unless it's positive, then you're patting yourself, especially when it's just so obvious that you're having a fit. And I thought this was interesting too, is because now in the last season, Katie said about Sheena, Or did she say it in this one? It was right at this time, like right where it's switching in from 9 to 10. But 10, nothing, I don't think anything big is going to happen to Sheena, but I think maybe in 11, because I think it was the end of 9 where Katie said, I can't wait to see Sheena's life blow up. I'm not going to have any empathy for her. So it's like, okay, well, now that's been said, because all this stuff, it's weird how they say this and then it happens. So Sheena's life is going to blow up, but watching it is like, okay, this girl needs to be humbled. This girl's not growing at all. She's just sitting here like she's somebody who wants to be surrounded by yes men. And, she doesn't want true friends. She doesn't want a friend who's going to say, hey, that hurt my feelings. No, she's a superior being. And she's only going to surround her. And she's got herself a husband that's like her. And whatever with her exploiting her kid, I don't even know. Who knows where this is going to go. But I think something is going to definitely happen to rock her world. I mean, the universe is going to, it loves her just as much as everybody else. So something's going to happen to get her to come into reality, because she's out there, man. And when she does, she's going to have a lot of stuff to heal. Like, she's so fucking toxic. I can't even believe it. And Lala, too, to me, she's so toxic. And it's so funny how yesterday, even when Raquel and Charlie, they left because Raquel was being treated so bad by these girls, and they were on this weekend thing. And so she left. And to me, like, I would too. I would not, fuck that. Sit and have these girls act like this to you. And so she left, and Lala starts saying, oh, she's so low vibration. I was like, okay, so now you're going to start talking like you're spiritual or something? You're going to be talking about she's low vibration? You think it's high vibration to run around and call people names and yell at them, and that's high vibration? Like, what? So I don't even know. Well, my daughter said that, whatever's going to go down, that at the review thing, that you start finding out this affair was going on for quite a while. And so I've been paying attention, and you definitely, Raquel and Tom barely even seem like they know each other. Like, they don't seem very close at all. And so it's very strange. And the fact that Raquel starts the season and just shot. So she's totally just gone off, which I can totally relate to. I'm not going to judge her on that, because I was also, young and I've gone through my shot. I've gone through all those things. So I've done all this stupid shit. That's why I talk about it. And so they got her drinking. And that's all I can hear is producers egging her on and directing her. And, she is a weaker of, she is a people pleaser. She is more weak in herself. She's working on it, though. She is working on it. She's aware of it. And she is saying, she's really, she really says some really good stuff. And, about her healing and stuff. And that is also strange. Then all of a sudden, that she would be doing this. I feel so much like this is some sort of a created drama for sensationalized TV, for getting more money. And then it doesn't surprise me that Tom would be involved in this whole thing, because of all of the money problems that he's having, trying to do all these bars and stuff. So nothing adds up. And as far as I'm concerned, Rochelle is just, Raquel is being manipulated by the program, the show, the producers or whoever, because on those kinds of shows, I think that they get like, I don't know, I'm kind of like an assistant, but it's really a producer. So the person is really trying to direct the show from behind the scenes. It's kind of like an attachment, a dark attachment that is feeding you information. So they kind of go into that role. And, and that's what I'm saying, man. There's so many people who've played such dark roles through this, this earth experience, through this, the experience we're leaving behind. So many people play such dark roles. Ugh. And they're going to have to face those roles because they don't know. They don't know the dark role they play because everything is in the upside down. Hopefully, the 11th, we do switch and it goes right side up. And that will be the thing, is like when you've been playing a part in the darkness and you think that that is, you know, you're playing the right part. But when all of a sudden the lights come on and you see like you're in the wrong costume, you're at the wrong party, you know, it's going to be very shocking. And so that's why I said, like, even with this show, just taking the energy and transmuting it, because it's so fucking toxic. It is so, and this is what, you know, the people who run our programs, this is the stuff that they do, is to get people to be role modeled. Like, oh yeah, I want to have a party like that. Oh, I want to go out, you know, like Kim Kardashian and her fucking whatever $1 million wedding. Goddamn, what? How long ago was that? When she married that fucking basketball player she knew for a week or whatever the fuck. And then this giant wedding, and then got divorced a little while later. But all these girls all of a sudden had to have a big old wedding like that. Everybody had to have these over-the-top weddings. Over the top. Remember when all of a sudden it was over-the-top, what are those things called when they ask them to marry them? Proposals. Over-the-top proposals. Then we had to have the over-the-top gender reveals. Like, everything has to go so over the fucking top. You know, everybody's got to outdo one another. Everybody's got to one up. Oh, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. But see, they know that. They know the parts of people that they're triggering through their programming and stuff. They know that they're going to get girls that are going to go out and act the same way, you know. Yeah, well, I'm going to go out. Like, I'm just going to go out and get plowed tonight. Who cares? You know, they know that's going to... I mean, they're driving up the prices of penicillin, of, you know, cyclovir, fucking condoms, diet industry, clothing, like all of the stuff that makes money off of going out to go get plowed. So it's a thing, you know. They want us to, you know, and they want us to be mindless. They don't want us to make real relationships. They don't want us to bond. They want us to fight and argue. They don't want healthy people in a show showing people how to work out problems. They want people who are just out there screaming and yelling at each other. And how dare you say I'm a liar just because I just lied? How dare you call me out on that? You're not a good friend and all this shit. It's like, a good friend is going to call you out. A good friend who cares and wants you to grow and wants you to heal and wants you to be your best is going to call you out. Is going to say, you know, that really bothered me when you did that. That really hurt my feelings. When you said that to me, it made me feel so small. And, you know, they need to face that side of themselves. They need to see that. You're not doing them a favor you're creating these psycho fucking ego-minded, crazed, superior, like, think they're better than other people. Oh, and another thing too, with these women who just had these babies, and you know, their beach body is so important, you know, immediately, and you know, that's not natural. You know, a woman, when she gives birth, you got to love your body through every cycle. You got to love and appreciate it. You know, and it's not a fun to be in a body after I had a baby. It's, you know, soft and mushy, and it's tired, and it's exhausted, and it's pumping out milk, and, you know, it's a lot. But you got to go through that, you know, go through the experience. Another thing that's so strange to me on that show is they walk around with pumps hanging off their boobs, hanging off their nipples, just walk around like with pumps. I don't know. I think that has become a national norm now too, where people are just like, well, they do it on there, I'm going to do it too. And what was the other one too? The another thing that wasn't the going out and partying and drinking, and then, oh, well, my boobs are full, I gotta go feed the baby. What? your baby an alcoholic too? What in the holy hell is going on? Why wouldn't you be in the bathroom pumping those bitches out and dumping it? You got to pump and dump. If you're just walking around with your pumps on, why can't you just go in there and pump and dump? Why? You got to get home so your baby can clear out all that alcohol? Like, what in the... I guess when you are, breastfeeding and you're drinking every single day, all day long, your baby's going to get some alcohol. Like, what you can do? Because the baby sleeps a lot. Oh, my God, no. It's just so... It's so much toxic bullshit. And that's what I'm saying. These people are being exploited. And they don't know what's to come. They don't know that everything's about to flip and about how foolish they're about to look. About how low class and, no integrity. No ethics. I'm out there. My role model is just be a cheap slut. Everybody, let's all join together. Let's all just be cheap sluts. Let's just get drunk all the time and fight with each other. And, be proud. I'm so famous. I'm on this show. I make money. I'm famous and I'm on this show. Oh, what show? Oh, that one where it's just a bunch of cheap whores running around being, it's like, why? And you think that is something you're going to be proud of for your kids and your grandkids to see? Like, yeah, kids, let's go watch Mom. Oh, yeah, this is the episode where I get really drunk and then I start fighting with Ariana. Oh, no, this is the episode where I get really drunk and then I start fighting with Raquel. Oh, no, this is the episode where I get really drunk. It's like, what the hell? I guess we all have different things we're proud of. Like, we're all on our own journeys. We're all on our own experience. It's just when you know what's coming, when you know what's coming and the other people don't, and you know what is going to, when it spins the other way, it's going to be intense. It's going to be intense. And, I think some of the people who are going to have loss of life, I think that it is their easiest way out. Like the stuff that they were going to have to face and heal, they weren't ready for it. Or that they're here just to play a role for you so you can be traumatized. And they'll meet you up there in the next phase of where you're going after you finish your healing. So, everything that is going on here, whoa, I've been talking a long time. Everything that is going on here is all about your healing. And, you can't just block out, and it isn't like there's a fine line between trying to people please, but also taking feedback. You've got to find your own balance in there. And the key to it is listening to your heart, listening to your soul, listening to your body. Your body is communicating with you. It's telling you when it's uncomfortable. It's telling you when it doesn't like something. And that is what you got to tune into to find that real centered balance. So, and people pleasing is toxic. You gotta, the goal, the light at the end of the tunnel is independence. It's sovereign. It is you being true to you and loving you, and to be as much you as possible that you can be, and to love you, to not be, like if somebody comes in, they say to me, like, I get told this all the time. Oh my God, you never shut up. All you do is talk. You talk. Nobody can get a word in edgewise. All you do is ever talk. So, I can sit there and, oh, fuck you. I got a lot to say. Yeah, I know. I talk a lot. I'm aware of it. Like, I know I talk a lot. I've got, I'm not a very controlled talker. I talk. And, and I could try and just be very, very quiet around everybody, try and please them. Am I being true to myself because I'm being quiet? Am I going to, but I'm going to have the awareness. Okay. So how much do I want to talk? Just it's your awareness. It's you figuring your place out, you having the awareness of the thing. But that doesn't mean you have to you don't conform and just be like, okay, well, I guess I'll never talk again because nobody likes to hear me talk. Be true to you. Like, I'm going to keep talking. There's somebody out there who likes to talk as much as me, wants to sit and talk with me, but how are you going to know if you're not out there, putting it out there into the world? If you're just sitting and not being true to yourself and hiding yourself to try and please others. And you go through, I mean, one thing that we have seen through this time is become quite clear to most of us who were trying to please others, that you can't please somebody into liking you. There's always going to be something you're going to do wrong. The moment you do something outside of what their reference, then you are doing something wrong. So it's impossible to be what somebody else wants you to be. The only possible goal, the real true goal, is you to be you, to be the best part of you, the most of you, all about you, and not in an ego crazy way either, where you're telling everybody, shut up. Like when people tell me, I talk too much or whatever, I don't say, shut up. Oh my God, you're just not a good daughter. You're just not a good friend. You're just not It's like, yeah, I know I talk a lot. I'll try, do better. Just tell me. If you're trying to tell me something and it's important, just say, okay, don't talk for a minute. I got to tell you something. And sometimes even if I start talking through that, you got to say, hey, remember, and I can take it. I can be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm trying. And I got to sit there and try and focus on what they're saying and not just like, okay, don't talk. Like, it's a lot. So anyways, but you get to figure out who you are. Nobody can tell you who you are. It's only you. And it is, it's what you allow. And so, but you got to allow a little, don't be like, nobody can say anything to me. I'm too fucking perfect, so anyways, but you don't just sit there and take somebody just putting you down all the time. That's not a person that's good for you. If you're around somebody who makes you feel drained, like you're energetically just drained, that is your body telling you, this person is draining you. You're not being true to yourself. They're taking too much. Something is off. Something is toxic here. And you have to go and start trying to figure out, is this relationship something I want? Is this someone I want to build something with? Is this somebody I feel anything for? You've got to go in and ask yourself the questions. There's a lot of this healing and growing is asking yourself questions. So just keep that in mind. But we're going into this week. I know it's Friday again. And so we're going into another weekend where there's another person, on this specific date. And all I know is that, we're going to have the shift where things are going to flip the other direction. And I don't know when or how it's going to happen. I've just been shown over and over it's going to happen. And, but it is suspicious about the fire thing, and when they've got all these chemicals up there and, it was New York, the beta, like, I don't know. It just, like I said, really keep in mind, your liver is trying to your kidney, your liver, pay attention to your pee. Pay attention to the smells and stuff too. Like I have definitely smelled mine and Stella's. I've smelled some really chemical smells where it's like, what in the hell? And so pay attention to your pee. That is a filter system. So, if you're smelling weird smells in your pee, then be thinking, okay, there's something, I'm filtering something, maybe do some detoxing. And your liver is your other big filter, and your gut. So you can be having a lot of gut problems. People's guts are being attacked. And the problem with your gut being attacked is that also where you absorb your nutrition. So you absorb the nutrition through your gut. So you need a healthy gut. And that helps with your immune system. Because see, that's what we're under attack. Because they want us to go from, oh, well, that's a heart attack. Well, that's this. They don't want us to all go from the same thing. That's too suspicious. We got to, they think they're really tricking us. So pay attention to your body's signals and keep in mind that you got to keep doing detoxing and all of that stuff. And these chemicals, as they're coming in, my throat has just been killing me. And eyes, attack your eyes, nose, you start having allergy symptoms, a lot of mucus and stuff. And I say don't go towards the doctor. Go start Googling different home remedies, different herbs, different things like that for your symptoms. Go in and start researching your symptoms and see what you can do. But you need to work on your gut health for sure. Your guts are being attacked, and doing as much liver detoxing as possible. And, When I was out walking yesterday, and it's trash day, you know, and everybody has a recycle out. Well, because I'm in Washington State, so all these people have their recycles out. And you just, it's all like fucking soda, beer. Like people, and then, you know, they're going around being sick. And they just, you know, they think, well, everybody drinks soda. You're having that on top of all these chemicals. So if you drink a lot of that shit, you got to be aware that is a lot of other chemicals. And they've added extra things to go along with these other ones to make you sick. So all those different things, drink as much, and it's hard with the water thing, you know. I really want to get a whole water system. When I redo my bathroom, I want to put in a whole water filter thing. Yesterday I was out watering the plants out front my garden, and the water felt like oil coming out of the fucking thing. And when I went to the lake yesterday, it looked like an oil slick on top of it, along with this other shit. Like, fuck, I don't know what the hell they're spraying on us, what the hell they're putting in the water. And I went to go look up my water thing yesterday too, and then I saw my water district started just from my neighborhood. They said Water District 13 was for this neighborhood, and now we've expanded more. It is so motherfucking corrupt. And I said, like, the price of the water here is fucking ridiculous. Spokane, $10 for the whole goddamn year. And here is $150 a month. Oh, well, that's sewage too. Fuck off. I pay for goddamn garbage. Like, this is bullshit. The whole thing is said bullshit. It was sewage because, you know, where is this sewage plant I'm paying for? Where is this? You know, you just got a little infiltration system in the back, and that's where our sewage goes in, and then you're pumping it back out, and you put some oils and chemicals in it and put it out in the water, and I got to pay $150 for that. Yeah, no wonder my hair always feels fucking dirty. I keep thinking it's the goddamn, you know, the shampoos and shit. It's goddamn fucking water, I think. Is it full of filth? And so, anyways, I'm just, God, so irritating. I just hope to God this is our fucking weekend to finally turn and go the other direction. Like, God damn. But you got to focus on your detoxing and your health, and really be aware of what you're consuming, what you're bringing in. And another thing too is, I got to say, is because I see these people, so many sick people, so many people with cancer and shit. And, you know, talking about their updates and what's going on, and they're full and they're covered and blah, 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 all this stuff. So much. And just keep in mind, your mental health has to do with your physical health. If you are mentally depressed and down and stuff, you're not going to be able to heal yourself. You're not going to heal the cancer. I mean, it is showing you, your body's showing you. So your body's showing you when it's sick. You're not going to heal unless you are emotionally and mentally. It's all goes together, mind, body, spirit. So if you really want to heal yourself from the sickness that you've acquired, you've got to do all over healing. You got to face your darkness, face yourself, and you know, really go into it as it's a whole mind body experience to heal. So. You know, it's just sad, because I just know there's a lot of people out there, and they're just depressed and down, and they're sick. You know, the chemicals are attacking them, and they're sick, and they're so down, and they don't have it in them to the fight. They're going through too much pain and trauma and stuff. So anyways, if you are, just do your best. If you're just so down in the dumps and you don't know what to do and you keep trying, just the best things you can do is go out in the light of day. Go, if you've got windows, open all the windows. Don't fucking sit in the dark and be like, I'm so depressed. Like, open the goddamn windows. Do the things, and then see if you still feel so down. You know, and it's a challenge. You know, you've got a lot of dark energy on you when you're feeling that way. And it's a challenge to be like, fuck, open a window? You motherfucking kidding me? You know, and push yourself. Push yourself. Open the fucking curtains. Open the fucking windows. Get some air. Listen to some songbirds. Turn on some music. Dance. Dancing, you know, transmutes energy. It'll change how you feel inside. So dance, put on a song that's silly, sing, belt it out, you know, do things like that. And even if that day it still is like, oh, Okay, I did it for 5 minutes. I'm going to go lay back down and just be depressed and cry. Then do it again the next day. Do it again the next day. Just keep pushing yourself. Be consistent. Keep pushing yourself. You know, it's the same thing if you're way up on your weight and you feel like, oh man, I've got so far to go. I'm never going to get there. Take small increments for one thing. Don't get something so big that it's overwhelming to you. And then it's just consistency. Just every day, do the same thing. Even if it's, 5 minutes, I'm going to jog in place for 5 minutes every day. Eventually, you will see that jogging in place every day for 5 minutes made a difference. You may not see it as fast as you want to see it, but you will see. Anything you change in a positive direction, you're going to see the effects. So anyways, just, keep working on you through this stuff. Stay aware and, really read your labels and do everything you can to work on your health and your love for yourself and your love for everybody else. So that's my advice, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.